Alright, so we have the return of Ryan Hall after 2 years off, and he is coming back against a prospect in Ilia, Topuria. I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. So Ryan Hall has a 3-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. We'll have a look if he can use that or not. So I break down the striking of these two. So for Topuria, he has nice offensive boxing. He really sits down on his punches. He's got a really nice left hook. Left rip to the body, just body work in general, rips to the body in close. But yeah, he likes to finish a combination with a left hook or a left rip to the body. For Ryan Hall, he comes in as a southpaw. I think his style is quite effective because it frustrates opponents. Obviously, you're going to get opponents that are, mentally with it, and then they're going to, kind of take advantage of his style, but the opponents he's had so far haven't really been able to take advantage of his style, and for the most part, it's been frustrating them. And the reason why is that, he doesn't really give you a fight. He will throw a spinning heel kick, but then he'll be off balance and he'll pull guard. So it's not really he's not really, looking to box in the pocket with you. He's not looking to stand and bang. He throws a few techniques on the feet, and if that's not working, he'll pull guard. And you don't really want to engage him on the ground, so you're kind of at a stalemate where he's just pulling guard and you're just like kind of wanting him to get back to the feet, but also he pulls guard so often off his spinning techniques that it's just kind of annoying and it frustrates opponents, I guess. So yeah, that's what he does, but yeah, it is what it is. And for Topuria, I think this is going to be a good weapon here because Hall does level change a lot, even when he goes for his Imanari rolls or whatever. He does have a nice reactive uppercut when opponents do telegraph a takedown attempt. He always goes to that uppercut when his opponents shoot on him, and I think that could be a good weapon here. Hall isn't the type of guy to go for traditional takedowns, but still, he's going to be level changing quite a bit. And near the fence, Ryan Hall, he has his hands low and he turns his back when escaping pressure near the fence. So if you get him near the fence, he's really uncomfortable, turns his back just to get out of the position. He has his hands low on the clinch break. Whenever, breaking the clinch, he has his hands low. Basically, has his hands low at all times. But both these guys, they have been known to grapple quite a bit. So for Ryan Hall, he likes that Imanari roll when the opponent does close distance. So, when you close distance on him, he's just going to drop levels and roll for your legs. And he does try to pretend to reach for the lead leg in his Imanari roll attempts, and then, rolls for the back leg. So the opponent moves the lead leg out of the way, and then he rolls for the... because the lead leg is much easier to, move out of the way. The rear leg takes a bit more time and a few more steps, but that's the end target for him, is the rear leg, because that's just more heavily planted into the ground. And yeah, that's why it catches opponents. Good example of that is BJ Penn, where he got the lead leg out of the way, but then got the, couldn't get the rear leg out of the way in time, and then Ryan Hall got it, and it was over after that. And he has a really nice leg lock game. But Topuria can grapple as well. He's got a nice reactive double. He looks to turn the corner if he can't complete the single leg, and then look for the wrestling ride from there. I'd say he has better takedowns and better takedown defense than Ryan Hall. And I think most of his wins are by submission as well. So he looks for that Das or the Anaconda grip, just kind of interchangeable between those two, when the opponent's on all fours. And he'll either commit to the choke or use it to roll them back onto their back and then, look for submissions on top or look for damage on top. So yeah, both these guys are quite good grapplers. How these guys win fights, so for Topuria, he's well-rounded. He's got a good ground game as well. Obviously, Ryan Hall, very legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. His leg lock game is nasty. He's very quick and he's very efficient in locking in these devastating leg lock submissions. And he does have good scrambles as well. It's hard to hold him down. Also for Topuria, he has one-punch knockout power. We've seen that multiple times. Seems to be finding his power as he progresses in his career. But naturally, yeah, the dude is powerful. How these guys lose fights, so for Ryan Hall, I think his striking is very limited. Also the striking tendencies that we discussed before get him in trouble. How Topuria loses, it's the striking tendencies, but I didn't really get into them because Hall's not really the type of style Hall doesn't really have the type of style that's gonna expose these tendencies. Also, his cardio is a bit of a question mark for me. I know there's a lull fight was on 8 days notice, but that's all I have to go off. So that's his only fight that's hit round 3, and he didn't look great round 3. His style in general isn't very energy efficient, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does have subpar cardio and cardio issues going forward. But yeah, that's all I have to go off. So cardio, big question mark there. Probably has two good rounds and then starts slowing down at the pace that he fights at. Past the victory for these two. So for Ryan Hall, try and make him fight your fight. Try and test his ground game, pull guard, or try and get in top position if possible. Imanari roll, sweep to top position. Also look for a guillotine if Ilia does shoot. Look for that guillotine there. And for Topuria, look to get in boxing range, close distance, let off combinations, especially when he's crossing his stance on the feet. Ryan Hall, you watch his fights and you notice he crosses his legs when he's moving laterally. And pretty much you're unable to throw any type of offense from that stance, if you want to call it that. Maybe only in Imanari roll. That's all he can do. But if you see him cross his legs, you get in the pocket and you start smashing him. And then smash the body in close as well. Uppercuts and body shots at distance to try and discourage the Imanari roll, or maybe you can catch him while he's rolling for a leg. So yeah, how I see the fight going, I think Topuria is going to look to keep it on the feet, and I think he's going to pressure Hall. He seems like a very intelligent guy, and I get the sense that he game plans quite, studiously for fights. An example of this is the last fight where he wanted to keep it on the feet. He said this in an interview. He wanted to keep it on the feet against Damon Jackson because he knew that's where his path of least resistance was. And I believe he's going to come, I think he's going to come to the same conclusion here regarding the easiest path to victory. I think it's keep it on the feet, box, and look to try and put hands on Ryan Hall. And as soon as Topuria gets in boxing range, I think Hall should Imanari roll or some shit. Because if he tries to box or exchange with Topuria, I think he's getting knocked out in the pocket. So I wouldn't advise him to do that. Also, I think Ryan Hall's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game as a whole is a little overrated. Like Joe Rogan or whoever's commentating will talk his game up so much that when he pulls guard, opponents don't even want to engage him at all. Just because, they've all heard the narrative, everyone's been telling him don't engage this guy on the ground. So I think that mystique saves Ryan Hall a little bit, because when people do try and play in his guard, they usually have success and they get off damage. I don't think he's as dangerous as people think he is on bottom. But yeah, Saul Rogers on the tough season against Ryan Hall, he beat Hall the fuck up when he was in top position. And I believe that Topuria is a better top player than Saul Rogers. Definitely his leg lock game is lethal, but aside from that, his ground game seems pretty manageable to me. And I don't think Topuria is going to have too much trouble dealing with it, honestly. The only advantage I give Ryan Hall in this fight, I think is the advantage in pure Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. If these guys were to, go to a Jiu-Jitsu tournament together and get matched up, I think Ryan Hall would win. But I think Ilia has a good enough scrambling game to avoid the leg locks of Ryan Hall. I'd even say that Topuria's MMA Jiu-Jitsu, like Jiu-Jitsu in relation to MMA, and how it can work, together with wrestling and striking, is better than Ryan Hall's. I think he has a better wrestling game. He can control where the fight is taking place, and also when you add punches and elbows and all that, he can do a lot more damage than Ryan Hall. Prediction, gut feeling, I think Ilia KOs him in round 1 pretty early without breaking a sweat. Honestly, that's how I see it. But I do think this is quite a good matchup for him, and I think it's not a great matchup for Ryan Hall. Alright, so if you guys could smash that like button, like I think Ilia Topuria is going to smash the body of Ryan Hall when he gets in the pocket, that'd be awesome. So yeah, I do think Topuria wins by KO in round 1. I think either to the body or the head. I think he's going to smash him when he gets in close. I like Topuria at the price he's at the moment. Really don't mind it as a parlay piece. If he gets to $1.45, I'd probably bet him a few units. I don't like the inside the distance line though, but I do like the money line.